husband said he was planning something special for our anniversary. I decided to help by checking his browser history. I found out what he'd actually been planning for 3 years. My husband Nolan and I met in college and married at 24. 10 years, 2 kids, 1 mortgage. We weren't perfect, but I thought we were solid. He worked in pharmaceutical sales, traveling 3 or 4 days a week, long hours, lots of stress, but he always said he did it for us, for our future. 3 weeks before our anniversary, Nolan started acting secretive, closing his laptop when I walked in, taking calls in the garage, smiling at his phone, and then quickly putting it away. When I asked what was going on, he kissed my forehead and said, "Just wait. I'm planning something big for 10 years. I told my sister about his behavior and she laughed. He's probably booking a surprise trip. Stop worrying. But something felt off. His secrecy didn't feel exciting. It felt practiced. One night, he left his laptop open on the kitchen counter while helping our son with homework. The screen showed his email, and I saw a subject line that made my stomach drop. Wire transfer confirmation. I told myself not to look. Anniversary surprise, remember? But my hands moved faster than my brain. The email confirmed a $20,000 transfer to an account I didn't recognize. The recipient's name was Becca Holloway. I didn't know any Becca. I went into his browser history, telling myself I'd just look for travel bookings or restaurant reservations. Something to calm my nerves. What I found instead was 3 years of lies. There were dozens of emails to Becca. Love letters, plans, promises, photos of them together at restaurants I'd never been to, hotels and cities he supposedly visited for work. He called her his real life and said I was just the situation he was managing until the kids were older. I found receipts for jewelry I never received, weekend getaways I never went on, a lease agreement for an apartment downtown with both their names on it. He'd been paying rent on a second home for 18 months while telling me we couldn't afford to fix the roof. There were bank statements showing systematic transfers, 500 here, 1,000 there, all going to their shared account. By my rough count, he'd moved almost $70,000 over 3 years. Money from his bonuses that he told me went to his retirement fund. Money I thought was building our future. I sat at that counter reading everything. The worst part wasn't the affair. It was how he talked about me. He told Becca I was clueless and easy to manage. He joked about how I believed every business trip excuse. He said I was so focused on the kids that I'd never notice what was right in front of me. He was right. I didn't notice. For 3 years. I didn't confront him that night. Instead, I called a lawyer the next morning and learned exactly what I was entitled to in our state. Then I called our accountant and requested copies of every financial document from our marriage. Then I called my mother and asked if the kids could stay with her for a few days. The week before our anniversary, Nolan was practically giddy. He kept dropping hints about the special surprise, how it would change everything, and set us up for the next chapter. I smiled and nodded and waited. The night of our anniversary, he took me to an expensive restaurant downtown. I let him order champagne, let him hold my hand across the table, let him give his little speech about 10 years of partnership and how much I meant to him. Then he slid an envelope across the table with a huge smile. Open it. Inside were 2 plane tickets to Paris and a hotel confirmation for a romantic week abroad. I stared at the tickets. Then I pulled out my own envelope. Open yours. His smile faltered as he unfolded the papers. Divorce petition. Asset division request including recovery of dissipated marital funds. A printed screenshot of his lease agreement with Becca. The color drained from his face. I found your browser history 3 weeks ago when you left your laptop open. I know about Becca. I know about the apartment. I know about the $70,000. He started stammering, saying it wasn't what it looked like, saying he could explain. You said you were planning something special for our 10th anniversary. Turns out we both were. I stood up and walked out of that restaurant without looking back. The divorce finalized 4 months later. Because he'd hidden assets and lied under oath about the transfers, the judge awarded me the house, primary custody, and ordered him to repay the money he'd funneled to his girlfriend from our joint accounts. Last week, my daughter asked why daddy doesn't live with us anymore. I told her sometimes people aren't who they pretend to be, and it's better to know the truth even when it hurts. Nolan wanted to give me an anniversary surprise. He just didn't expect me to find his real one first.